On Nafta, we are going to have negotiations room today, we're told. From what you see right now, because you really negotiated Nafta, as I recall, from you see, is it possible we will end up with an agreement that in fact will be improved?
Well, we've got to get it done. We have an agreement that has created some 14 million jobs and made North America extraordinarily competitive in the world. And so we don't want to break it apart. We want to upgrade it and add those things that have changed in our economy since the negotiations were completed 25 years ago.
And you know a lot of the people who are participating in this. Not, I'm saying at the very top, I'm not talking about President Trump necessarily, but Robert Lighthizer and his staff. We have a lot of professionals, the people who used to work for you. Are you reasonably confident they will be working towards something that will be workable and actually will, for example, include intellectual property and cyber issues that didn't exist when you negotiated it?
Well, we negotiated upgrades in the Trans-Pacific Partnership so that there's a lot of exercise that has gone on to show a good green light going forward. I think the sticking points that are preventing the parties from all three shaking hands are not the new economic issues, e-commerce and new technologies, but old issues like agriculture.
Well, agriculture and also dispute resolution, because there is an issue with Canada, as I understand, about whether we would actually continue with the arbitration provisions.
Canada has had questions about Chapter 19. Let's hope that we can find a resolution there. They worry about our trade remedies and, of course, our tariff actions against them on grounds of national security only enhance that worry.
So Ambassador Hills, I just recently, just a few minutes ago, spoke with Kevin Hassett at the White House about the fact that U.S. companies are almost uniform in their objections to the new tariffs that are imposed on imports from China. And this is what he had to say about why he thought it was still a good idea in the long term.
The long objective is to open up U.S. markets to China. And if we're successful at opening up the markets to China, then that'll be great for U.S. companies. And so that's really our long-run objective. And right now, we're in a situation where China is abusing the trade policies that exist, abusing the WTO, and we've got to step in there and get them to correct that.
So, Madam Ambassador, I don't think many people can object to the objective of opening up Chinese markets or improving Chinese performance. There are a lot of issues about how this is being handled, but as you look at it, if you were the trade negotiator right now, can you see a path forward for the U.S. and China that would get to the objectives that make sense for the United States?
What I would do would be join with my allies that are also suffering from China's not observing the rules of national treatment and non-discrimination, forced transfer of technologies and percentage caps on what we can invest in their country. That violates those basic norms. And with Canada, Mexico, the European Union, and Japan all standing in front of China saying this has got to change. I don't think that tariffs are a good mechanism to get that change. It is not that I differ in terms of objectives, it's in terms of strategy and plan.
Madam Ambassador, the President of the United States has been pretty clear. He likes bilateral, he doesn't like multilateral. So assuming for the moment they don't follow your advice in that regard, do you think that Jack Ma of Alibaba is exaggerating when he says this could last 20 years? We could have a trade dispute that goes on well past the Trump administration.
Well, I think that the more people sitting around the table, where you put something on the table and your friend next door to you puts something on the table, I want both those things, and I don't have to pay for them, that you get a better deal with the more people sitting around the table. So I'm not against getting a good bilateral agreement. I just think that it isn't as effective as when you have a few more at the table.